You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi. And my co-host is my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, it's been a while since I had to do this, Tucky!
What's going on? Good work. You got the monitor feedback protection.
Oh, that's good. That's a good sign of things to come. That means we're back in the swing of things. It's been almost, 3 or 4 weeks since we last recorded?
It's been a while.
Since we last recorded OTM. Yeah, okay. We're back in the group. What's good, man? What's the latest? Let the listeners know. I know Wheelhouse Baseball is back.
Yes, life is good. School's back in session. We're on week 3 here. Just hit past our 100th day of 180. So
Golf clap to everyone out there. We don't have sound effects, though. So.
School, baseball's going well. We're doing the 2 workouts a week and kind of getting back in the groove.
Grind.
Yeah, less than 70 days, 65 days or something till opening day. It'll be here before we know it.
You're still trying to get me to come out to a practice?
10 to 1 Saturday, we'll see you there.
I told you there's not much that I can offer except for maybe
There's
catching.
more than you'd think. I'm telling you.
Maybe with high school kids.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because they're still learning.
Rural high school kids that, not every one of the. If it was at a huge, big school, very competitive, that's a different.
Well, yeah, I'm not like you. You played college baseball.
Yeah.
I had one offer to a school that doesn't even exist anymore for college. Did I ever tell you that story?
But it was a good baseball school, though.
St.
Joe's was a good baseball school.
They saw me catch at one of those showcases, and they're like, hey, you're pretty good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that school doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know how the crossover appeal would be. For a guy that just played travel baseball his whole time.
No, it doesn't matter.
I was mentioned in the drop, though, in the wiffle drop.
Yeah, people forget.
So I guess I got that going for me. But other than that, just chilling, hanging out, keeping up that workout grind.
Yeah, life is good. I'm trying to be the most active member at my Anytime Fitness for the month of January. So we'll see.
You go every day, then?
Every day, twice a day sometimes. Today is the 21st, and I've made like 30 visits or something like that. 32 or something.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they used to keep track of that stuff.
They do. Yeah, I'm only doing it to try to get my name on a piece of paper.
That's right. Because I used to go to Anytime back in the day, and I remember seeing that list, and I was top 10 because that was my first year in college, and all my buddies were away, and I stayed home. Yeah. So all I did was work out. It'd be the weekend, I'd be working out like midnight. But you go like first thing in the morning, don't you?
Yeah, I go before school to get it out of the way, so I can get back there and do cardio. When it gets past January, I'll still go before school, but I'm not dying to go back.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot on your plate here coming up these next few months too.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll stay active.
I'm excited. Yeah. Team's going to be good. We've got a new catching coach, Coach Learda, coming in. Christ. It's going to really.
My plate is full.
Yeah, same.
I know. You like that, though. I feel like you thrive in overbooking yourself. You're like the Kenny Omega of the region.
I'm pretty busy, yeah.
The way you
and with Wheelhouse coming back, it's good. I'm doing some travel ball stuff twice a week, so we're recording now. I got a travel ball practice 7 to 9.
So I act like I'm booked, but I think you're doing more than I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got happy hour on Monday nights, then I join Mikey's morning coffee every weekend.
Yeah, you're busy. Ours are just different types
busy.
of busies.
Yeah. Mine's not really busy. I'm just staying active and involved with podcasting and the Overtime Sports Network. It's been a while since we did this plug. You want to tell the listeners what's new and improved with OTSN?
Man, there's a lot. We got a Twitch stream for people that have forgotten that.
Twitch.tv/OT Sports Network.
We've got merchandise, comfy merchandise.
Wearing it right now.
The reviews are coming in, and I have not read a negative review. I'm waiting on mine. Mine should be here Saturday.
What'd you get?
I got a hoodie, but I went dark gray.
Okay, that's what David Kepshire just ordered his. He was debating between red in dark gray, because everybody's seeing that I got the red, Kubaki got the red, Marini got the red, and it pops. I think this is a good look, but I think you'll like the dark gray too.
I will, yeah. I'm excited. My other overtime hoodie is too big now, so that's a flex.
Well, now you're in like a medium, probably. That's insane because this is a large.
Yeah.
Tuck is now the skin.
You have plenty of room in that hoodie, though.
Oh, I do.
Don't
yeah.
act.
I like to run it a little big.
Yeah.
With hoodies and all that. But yeah, if you want to check out the Overtime Sports Network, we got a lot of live shows, podcasts, of course. The blog is kind of dead, but I'm sure once in a while people will pop off with a new blog post. You can find that website, otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN. I heard you try to pronounce that or try to name the website domain on Wheelhouse twice, and you kind of just threw out words.
That's it. Yep.
So if you go to our social media accounts, you'll find it.
The easiest way to do it is head over to the Twitter sphere.
That's right.
@_OTSN. Far simpler. Once you're there,
Links
tap
galore.
of the finger, tappity tap, and you're you're on the website. So.
And that's how you can get to the merchandise as well. We have a merchandise tab on the website. So go there, click on merchandise, and you'll be able to see all the stuff. You can also check out Matt Haskell's merch. We've kind of partnered with him. He is a Twitch streamer, a good friend of mine. And you can just go to streamlabs.com/MattHaskell/merch to look into more of that stuff. But Tuck, it's been a few weeks. We haven't got to talk any wrestling whatsoever. I feel like me and you really haven't even texted about wrestling, so we got a lot to catch up on.
Well, and it's good, we've had our we've been able to recharge, and now we're back. So.
We're full go. We are a week away from the Royal Rumble, believe it or not. Last year we were here for the Royal Rumble. There were fans in the stands, but this year that won't be happening. But I say we start with the main roster, Raw, SmackDown, take our way over to NXT, and then finish with AEW. What do you think?
Good.
All right. So before we get into all that, though, it seems like WWE is planning on having fans at WrestleMania. It will happen at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. About 25,000 is what we are hearing right now. Do you think this is a good idea and that they can pull this off?
If they are compliant, if they're, is it intelligent from a COVID-19 pandemic-y perspective? I don't know. They're not breaking any rules.
No.
So that's the interesting. You have the moral dilemma and the logical dilemma. I won't be there, so I look forward to seeing people there
and hearing people, just getting that
genuine
buzz.
Yeah, because 25,000 is good, and
it's a big stadium,
and it's the first time they've been able to yell at a wrestling event in a long time. Hope they keep their masks on to keep the spit from flying everywhere, probably. But 2 nights or no?
2 nights is what it's going to be, and that might be a permanent thing, which I don't know if I like. I don't know if I always am going to want that. I feel like 2 nights is a lot. You're taking 2 nights out of your weekend right there, too, and just devoting it to wrestling because you're not going to miss WrestleMania,
No, yeah.
But overall, the 25,000, I think it's doable, especially in a football stadium, which they're going to be in, that probably sits about 80,000. You look across sports right now. NFL's having fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Green Bay just pulled off having 10,000 there, and Wisconsin's one of the hottest spots for COVID right now. So there is ways of doing it. We go back to last summer with Warrior Wrestling and how they were able to do it, obviously on a lesser scale, but that's a good example, right?
They maximized the space they had available. You know what I mean? And I would not have guessed that there were 10,000 people at the Packers game.
It's because they spread them out and
exactly.
kept them distance, which
you know what I mean?
That's all you got to do.
It's not hard. Those ticket prices are going to be bananas.
Of course.
Because there's,
of course,
significantly less, a third, 2/3 less than what they would get.
I wonder if they're going to try to limit international purchases just for this WrestleMania. For traveling,
if the pandemic rules are holding up, people are going to have to quarantine 2 weeks when they get here, or go home. It's going to. I think maybe they don't allow international purchases, but how do you, from that end, how do you monitor it on the aftermarket, on StubHub, on SeatGeek?
Well, I do know, in NFL games, they're not allowing the third party selling.
Oh, really?
That's either offered to season ticket holders or a healthcare provider, the people that work in the hospitals and all that get the tickets for free and stuff.
Yeah.
So because I was curious on the Packer game last week. I was like, can I get a ticket to this game? I went to StubHub. went to their website, no tickets listed. So
Okay.
if they do something similar to that where you can't resell it,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know from a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, we're in the middle of a pandemic," but aren't we? I'm not saying we're past it.
Still
but,
3 more months away. We know significantly more now than we did a year ago.
and we have a vaccine now. People are taking it. So once it gets to that level of the flu, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. And
Yep.
it's time to move on. So hopefully, in a couple months from now, maybe they can even push the envelope more past 25,000.
Yeah.
We really don't know. So touch visit with that when we get there. But let's start with Monday Night Raw here, Tuck. The main headline that kind of popped off here a couple weeks ago is that the WWE champion Drew McIntyre tested positive for COVID-19. So he obviously missed the last 2 weeks. But do you think that in itself will affect anything going forward? Do you think that affects the booking decision with his match with Goldberg? Because I know he was asymptomatic and stuff like that, but there has been signs like after testing positive that there has been some side effects that could affect fatigue and stuff like that. Do you think it would affect booking, or do you think they're just going to go on as planned?
I think it's just full steam ahead until something like that pops up. Yeah.
I don't know if it directly affects the booking decision, but it obviously threw a wrench into everything the last 2 weeks with how they wanted to build it up. We saw it 3 weeks ago when Goldberg came out and kind of just straight up told Drew, hey, you're next. And that's how we got into this story. And now we're kind of just having these, Zoom call-ins with Drew McIntyre and the spoof segment of Goldberg with Gilbert last week.
That was kind of funny, though.
I love a good laugh here and there. Like, a lot of people are going to rip WWE, but I feel like throwing that in there, it served its purpose.
Don't do it every week, but
No.
Yeah, it's good every once in a while.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens there with how they're going to book the Royal Rumble. Obviously, we will be predicting that next week, so we don't want to get too much into it. But before I mention the one thing I want to talk about with Monday Night Raw for sure, in general, it feels like Raw has been the worst show that we watch on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Is there anything other than Alexa Bliss that is standing out to you, like maybe the way they're handling Retribution right now?
No, and that's what's so hard to invest 3 hours on a Monday is I'm investing 3 hours to hopefully get a good 10 minutes. I don't care about anything else.
It's the show that I have on in the background and I'm doing other things.
Yeah. I don't even on Fridays at 7:00, you can almost guarantee that I'm at Anytime Fitness,
Watching
on
it?
a treadmill, watching it. And I know, I don't want to grind through a workout and watch Raw.
It's a task in itself to sit down on Monday nights and try to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It also seems like all these teams on Monday Night Raw are having tension now. Like last week, we saw the Hurt Business. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin were kind of getting into it in the middle of the match. You got Nia and Shayna's dynamic still going on. And Charlotte's having a feud with Lacey Evans, but she's also a tag team champion. Like, there's just so much going on in different directions on Raw, I can't focus in on anything.
Right. SmackDown is significantly more predictable. You know what you're going to get, but you look forward to getting there with the Roman headlines and the feuds. And so, yeah, SmackDown is significantly better. Wednesdays are tenfold better, although they haven't been mind-blowing
I was going to get to that later.
But we're in that lull on our way to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble's not that far away, though.
We got to get picking things
We got to
up
go.
There. You got to go. And I know, obviously, the fans thing probably puts a damper on that because maybe at the Rumble you were going to have a few returns or big names or old wrestlers come back, but maybe that's not going to happen this year because of no fans in the stands. So that has kind of taken away from the build. But you got to assume guys like Edge are still lurking. Like, we haven't heard or seen from him in a while. So something needs to jolt Monday Night Raw because other than Alexa Bliss, why should I tune in every week?
I agree.
Just because we're recording a podcast. That's why I tune in, really.
Honestly.
And because, like, now that I've been a WWE fan this is going to be year 10, like, it's habit now. Like, I just sit down at 7 o'clock, I watch Raw, If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, isn't that like it feels like I'm hooked in a way, like I can't leave it, you know?
Yeah, I have an extension on Google Chrome, so if I go to bed early, I can watch it double speed the next day.
True.
Like,
it's still a task.
Yeah, it's just.
But let's be positive for 1 second about Raw. Can we talk about Alexa Bliss a little bit?
Absolutely.
So lately on Raw, she's obviously been the major highlight. And I think what has been unique about the new Alexa Bliss is that now that Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend, was burnt alive by Randy Orton, she is getting able to shine on her own. She is the main focus with this new gimmick. And honestly, and somebody tweeted back to me, her acting skills might be the best in the WWE. What do you think so far with this, the way they've been handling her?
Yeah, I think they've done an incredible job, and say what you want about the Inferno match or whatever, or the way it ended. The absence of Bray has allowed Alexa to shine, and I don't know that we'd have the same strong opinion of her if she and I don't know if she would have gotten the spotlight had that match not been booked that way. So I don't know that I don't know if they had this in their mind to. I want
to hope to say that they did, because it is a good story so far.
It's fallen into their lap, and they haven't super messed it up though. So we'll take it.
Like having Alexa's playground, talking to no one on the side, and it seems like she's kind of poking the bear with Asuka too. And we know Asuka's the Raw Women's Champion. Maybe Alexa Bliss is one of those front runners to win the Women's Royal Rumble, because off the top of your head, who really could you name and feel confident about right now?
You have
Bayley, just because Sasha maybe is the champion.
Bianca Belair. She's got to be the.
Like those three might be your favorites right there, unless like a returning Ronda Rousey.
How many people are in that?
30. It's got to be 30 for both.
30? I couldn't
They'll fill it.
I can't name 30. It's
NXT.
Got to be old one. Oh yeah,
they do bring back
NXT,
the older ones.
Yeah.
Like I believe Molly Holly's always been a part of it. Trish.
Yeah, Beth.
Lita.
Beth, bloody girl last year.
Beth was awesome in the Royal Rumble last year. Yeah, she was a part of the Final Four, right? Natalia,
she had
her,
a run.
Charlotte, and Shayna.
She lost like a liter of blood, a lot of blood.
And now she's back on the NXT commentary. But yeah, Alexa Bliss, that's probably the highlight from Monday Night Raw every single week. And her being able to show off her acting skills, just another layer to that character that really takes not only her, but the Fiend to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
He's got these layers. And another theory, going off of the Fiend, might as well while we're here in the Royal Rumble coming up, is what if Bray Wyatt is in the Rumble 3 times? You get Bray, just like the Swamp Bray, and then Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt with the corduroy on, and then you have the Fiend.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, Dead Fiend, and then
he's got to come back to life,
and then Rebirth. Yeah,
I mean,
that would technically be the same person.
He's got to be lurking too for the Royal Rumble, right? Like, got to be one of the favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, not much to note from Monday Night Raw. So we'll move over to the Blue brand.
Without fans, there are some interesting things you could do with the Rumble, from a supernatural, abnormal, spooky,
cinematic.
Yeah.
In a way. You're not obviously going to go full cinematic with it. But
yeah, cut the lights, toss some fire in.
You're going to have to get John Morrison's slow-mo entrance in there. You can't not have that. That's just.
You did not see Gags. Do it. You
did I nail that or what?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I've watched John Morrison. I've only had a live feed going on.
Make believe.
It's a good song. It's catchy, but man, John Morrison has been completely annoying with the Miz.
Yep,
that's a wrinkle to think about next week, though, with Goldberg and McIntyre and the Miz. He's kind of been put in that storyline now. So that might come into play with the predictions as Tuck's wheels are spinning. You guys can't see it, but
my wheelhouse.
His wheelhouse is spinning over there. SmackDown, 2 weeks ago, Adam Pearce won a gauntlet match to earn a chance against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. At the time, what were you thinking before, like after this gauntlet match?
So I knew he was a wrestler before. It made far more sense when they got through the gauntlet, but it was one of those things that made me want to watch the entire show to see how it was going to unfold. So I'm glad it's not going to go that way, but I enjoyed watching it for what it was, and Jay and Roman come off as the heels as they should have.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Shinsuke Nakamura too get a little bit of shine in that gauntlet match, and him and Cesaro seem to be getting their own singles shine. We saw Cesaro last week face off against Daniel Bryan and get a win. So obviously that tag team isn't together anymore, but them off doing their singles thing, that's very interesting, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I'm excited. I hope they both get valid, good, solid runs, because I've been a Shinsuke guy since I started watching, and then I was like, am I picking the wrong people here? You know,
you had Otis, and then he won Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
and then he kind of fell off.
Seth Rollins, and then he turned into the Monday Night Messiah.
Yeah.
So I was going for like fringe guys that had potential. And
you were on the Strowman Express too for a little bit, weren't you?
I still am.
Oh, you are?
Oh yeah.
Are you ever going to get that T-shirt?
Choo choo. No, absolutely not.
That shirt is bottom
Atrocious.
5. One of the worst shirts WWE shop ever has put out. But we do know now that Kevin Owens is taking Adam Pearce's spot. So it continues that story, but a lot of people are talking that there is probably a good chance that Kevin Owens can win that match at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people think it's a possibility. Is that something you're keeping your eye on, or is it
there
the
a
Tribal
stipulation
Chief?
on it?
Oh, God, there is. Let me look it up. I'm going to look it up real quick. Royal Rumble card.
Because I think that comes into play a lot.
I'm pretty sure it was last man standing, but I'm going to confirm here real soon.
And that's no DQ?
Yeah, it is, which means, obviously, Uso, last man standing match for the Universal Championship.
There's the inroads for Uso to pop up.
But is there anyone that will help out Kevin? You have to assume someone's going to help
It's Sting! Oh, my bad.
Wrong
Sorry.
company. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
Does
Maybe
Adam Pearce come out and...
Sami Zayn? There's history there.
Oh, okay.
Sami and Kevin have always been best friends, so... Personally, I would love to see it. I just don't think it's going to happen. What do you think? Don't give me your pick without...
No, I don't...
I think there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah. Well, every time, even in their last match, Kevin has given Roman a good fight, which I don't know if that's best for business. Having Roman kind of
just kill everyone. Is that what you're
I thought he would? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he should be just murdering everyone, but I don't know.
With Kevin, it's been different. Like, it hasn't been the squashes or anything like that. So, and that in itself has made Kevin Owens this fantastic babyface. Like,
yes,
this is someone, when we first started this podcast, we were talking about as one of the best heels, but now Kevin Owens is working as, he's got to be the top babyface on SmackDown, right? Daniel Bryan maybe, but
it's KO
because he's fizzled off. So right now in 2021, it's got to be Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And that'll be an awesome match, and I'm sure there will be some shenanigans going on. But other things going on SmackDown. Sonya Deville is back, and she's kind of been utilized as this backstage authority figure. I'm not huge on it. I'm kind of confused with it, to be honest with you. What do you think of the whole Sonya Deville backstage stuff?
I'm just glad to see her back and in it, given everything that she's gone through and dealt with.
After that whole break-in scenario.
Yeah,
that was
terrifying.
Horrible.
Yeah, I would want nothing to do with that. But it is good to see her back in good spirit and in good shape. I don't need it.
No,
but
and this might be just a temporary thing to ease her back into the WWE flow after such a traumatizing thing, and I'm sure she went through hours of court just to get rid of that guy, and I believe he's
probably
locked up
in
now.
the same court, having to stare at the guy.
So that's a good way to just keep her involved. Obviously she's going to get her paycheck, but eventually she'll probably be brought back into the fold. But it seems like SmackDown women's division at least has enough to hold its own. You got Bayley, you got Bianca Belair, and you got Sasha Banks, but other than that, really, what else has been? Carmella, I guess.
Yeah, that's a side wrinkle.
This just popped in my head, too, and we probably will talk about this next week as well, but Rhea Ripley makes so much sense on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd be great.
They need her. And then that division would get very interesting. So last thing I wanted to touch on with SmackDown is that since the last time we talked, we have 2 new champions on the blue brand. Big E defeated Sami Zayn a while back, and now the Street Profits just lost to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And the Street Profits loss surprised me personally, but it looks like they are using Montez Ford's injury, and I'm putting air quotes on it because it's probably just a work, as the reasoning behind this loss. Did that surprise you, seeing Roode?
It did. I again, watching that on the treadmill, you go into a match and you like straight away you just pick it.
Yeah.
And then you know, on a match like that, I almost was like, you know, just it was happening in front of me, but I wasn't dialed in. And then I'm like, oh.
Got interesting at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so yeah, we'll see. It's not like the Street Profits need the titles.
They had a long run.
It does give an opportunity to establish another tag team or 2 along with Dolph and Roode. So.
I know, but we tried the whole Dolph and Roode thing a year ago, and it just never did it for me.
Still doesn't, yeah.
They literally seem like 2 singles just coming together for a cause.
Mm-hmm.
And
they don't even have a name yet. I'm a big tag team name guy.
Like The Way?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they do have a name, but apparently Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose do. Did you see it?
No, what's it?
It's like the Sexy Muscle Ladies. It's terrible.
Somebody made that as a joke. Oh, Asuka made that as a joke, though.
Yeah, they posted on Instagram.
Okay, all right.
It's still terrible.
It's not great.
All right, the glorious show-offs. Better.
How about the dickheads?
I don't think
I just don't like them.
I like them as individuals. Like, I think they're good wrestlers. It's just them together has never seemed to be interesting to me. And
yeah.
Here we are. We'll see where they go from there because they're the champions. But with the Intercontinental Championship, do you think that's the ceiling for Big E, or do you believe this is like a stepping stool kind of test?
Let's see how it goes. Testing
Yeah.
the waters, dipping the toes. They're in the water, but they haven't quite submerged the good parts yet to figure out if they can handle it, if you know what I mean.
Because there was a point, I feel like maybe a month ago, that people thought Big E could win the Royal Rumble. And here we are, he is the Intercontinental Champion, which was a cool moment when he did win. But I feel like he's lost a little bit of steam. I don't know what it is exactly, though.
Well, yeah, I do agree with that. He's going to have to lose the IC title and go on another run, but I don't know that he's going to be in that WrestleMania window to get it done.
That'd be too much too quick, I believe, to catapult.
So I actually agree with him having the IC title.
Yeah, I think like I asked you, the stepping stool thing. Like,
are they actually doing a long-term play? That's the thing, you know.
There's no way this is a long-term Intercontinental Championship. I feel like
I'm saying long-term, give him the IC title, give him a run, don't rush it, don't push it, let him build and develop. How long, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, but
will he be a world champion in 2021?
No. I think that might be too soon.
Will Isaiah Swerve Scott hold gold in 2021?
All right, so that soundbite almost did come true. Honestly, I don't think Swerve will hold gold. It looks
we'll
like,
see.
Yeah, he's kind of fell off a little bit. But yeah, I do think that Big E with the IC title is good for him, but we'll see where they go from there. Anything else from SmackDown that caught your eye recently?
Nope.
Okay, so we moved to Wednesday night here. NXT, we're going to talk about first. The Way is the new name for Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and Austin Theory. They're getting a fair amount of TV time in NXT. First off, the name The Way. Thoughts on that?
Do you know the way?
It's not good, right?
That's not good.
No. The group, I think, has potential.
Yeah.
It has legs.
The Way.
It's just... you could have just kept it the Gargano way, I think, because that's what they're playing off of here. But, like, Austin and Indy join the Gargano, so it still could be the Gargano way, can't it?
The G unit.
Okay. Now we're going off the road.
The G spot.
The G... Ooh.
The G strings.
Now, when I think, Jesus, the group as itself can be the G spot, and then Candace and India. Okay, we're going.
The Gargano house is the G spot.
That makes sense.
There you go.
We need some more house clips from the Garganos. I always enjoy those.
Yes, and we workshop something for about 12, 15 seconds there, and I think it's significantly better.
I mean, I think it's about what they did to come up with this name. They're like, You know how we call him the Gargano way?
Well, it's the Gargano way. How about we just call it the way?
It's just not good. But hey, now that Undisputed Era is the face faction in NXT, I think it's a good idea that a heel faction has started coming up here.
Yeah.
And I don't, to my memory, has there ever been a male and female kind of faction in NXT?
No, but have you ever heard of Retribution?
Okay. I have, but they weren't in NXT. But they are a mix of NXT people.
That's
so.
one way to screw up a mixed faction.
Okay, that got a little better. Retribution did. A little bit. They're winning matches now, at least.
Yeah.
I know we're backtracking here, but...
You ever play Cold War, Call of Duty?
Yeah?
There's a guy that looks like one of them. One of the character skins looks like T-Bar. Everybody uses him.
Aaron Oroz is a big T-Bar guy. He said T-Bar is going to win the Royal Rumble, so...
Oh, God.
There's always a chance. But yeah, the way getting a lot of TV time, Johnny Gargano is the North American champion, and Austin Theory's back in NXT. And speaking of NXT, the championship itself, the one that Finn Balor is holding, I'm not sure if you're going to agree with me on this take, but lately I feel like the NXT title has taken a back seat on Wednesday night. And I know they've had title matches, like we just saw Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor have another championship match, but for some reason, and I don't know if it's Finn exactly, but the Balor reign for me has done nothing to the NXT championship.
A hamster on a wheel, tires spinning in place. I think we discussed and talked about like this title is just what he needs to get to that spot, right?
He did. And here he is with it, and now we're saying...
It makes me nervous.
Is it a Finn problem? Is it a booking issue?
I think it's a booking issue. Yeah,
I do too. Finn's great. Like
the Finn NXT experiment to me,
it's over.
Send him to Raw.
Yeah, Raw's definitely that's a Finn area.
Still haven't got the Demon versus the Fiend. Well, let's do
that's
that.
True.
Go do that.
Maybe that's how you saw this, because I think inevitably we're leading to Karrion Kross eventually taking that back. Looks like Pete Dunne might be a stopgap to that, but after that, say he loses the Cross, gets squashed, right to Monday Night Raw, right? Like, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Because what else can Finn Balor do in NXT?
He's literally the champion, and it's kind of done nothing.
No, I agree with you. And that takes nothing away from him, because we both think he's great, but just his championship run has been a little underwhelming, and he's going to be teaming with Kyle O'Reilly, actually, next week in the Dusty Classic. So... And I think that's another thing that has kind of distracted everything from the NXT title, is that he's been having this thing with Kyle O'Reilly now for the past 3 months. Like, they had those matches. He beat him both times, and now he's teaming with him in the Dusty Classic. And I get building up, that tournament, but do we really need the NXT champion in there?
Well, he can't win.
No, because then he's the NXT champion and the Dusty Cup winner.
Right.
Like, that's just too much. So... I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to fix it other than what we said.
Who is the NXT Tag Champions?
Oh, fuck. Why am I blanking on this?
I couldn't see.
Oh, isn't it Undisputed Era?
Is it?
Dude, this is bad. Oh, it's Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
And Pat McAfee's not in NXT anymore?
They didn't even write him off. Like, he's just not on TV.
He had that. He did. I know he talked about it on his pod. I didn't hear it, but
he made that group entertaining.
Yes,
like, that's the main reason I enjoyed that group, was because of McAfee. Now without him, it's kind of just like, and I guess it proves the fact that we didn't even know who the champions were, and maybe that's because Pat McAfee isn't there to kind of give them that pizzazz. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there with the tag team tournament and the NXT championship, but. Something I want to at least bring up, I talked about it on Twitter a little bit from a couple weeks ago, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez. And I think what these two did was very special. And we've talked about these two before and their feud that they've been having. But after that match, after Raquel went over, first thought was, okay, I think Rhea's done in NXT. Second thought, Raquel Gonzalez can be a major player for that women's division that just keeps getting better, too. That women's division is stacked right now.
Yeah. And
what did you think of that match in itself? Because we didn't get the chance to talk about it. Rhea versus Raquel.
Oh, it was great.
Awesome.
Over delivered. And I expected a good match, but I that's one of those matches you watch and you're very satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
You just had a good meal, like full course, and yeah, I think Rhea to the Rumble.
It makes sense.
Come on, do it.
It makes a lot of sense. And Raquel Gonzalez, she's going to be in the women's Dusty tournament because they got that now too. She'll be pairing with Dakota Kai. I think after that, though, is when they'll go back to pushing her as a singles. Or maybe they're just she was there to beat Rhea, and now she's going to win the Dusty Cup with Dakota Kai. But I feel like there's a high ceiling with Raquel Gonzalez. But honestly, that match with her and Rhea, between that and Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw, for me, those are two the best matches of the year so far. I know the year is super young, but it's something to keep in your head for when the second ever OTMs,
Yep.
So keep that. We're gonna. I should
That's
write a
the
list.
hard part. That's the tough part. Thinking all the way back to January, and yeah,
I think we should have a list. Is there any other matches maybe from AEW you think we should add to that right now, or are we just gonna? I feel like those two are noteworthy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll get a list going. I'm gonna make a side Google Doc or something like that. So Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez and Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre are going to the list for matches of the year. And the last thing I want to talk about is something I probably wouldn't have brought up unless we didn't go to those Warrior shows, was that MSK is in NXT now. You know who MSK is?
The
Formerly known
Rascals.
as the Rascals in the Indie, now in NXT as MSK. They won their first match in the Dusty Classic, and they even had a video package about them last week. Tuck, what did you think about their debut and the fact that they're getting to show a little bit of personality early?
I'm into it. It's I'm excited to see, especially you see them live in person and you have that like attachment. I knew them, before they were mainstream, kind of old middle school music-y type thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. I'm glad they're in NXT. And what does MSK stand for?
I don't know. Did they even explain it?
I
don't know, but I liked how they were kind of just joking around and talking to the camera like that. I got to, because I tried describing the Rascals to Erica Marini. I was talking to her during NXT about MSK since we got to see them a couple of times. And to me personally, when we were there, I thought they were athletic high flyers with this stoner gimmick trio, just fun guys, and that's how they came off of on television.
Yeah.
Did you actually pay attention to that video package at all when they were on?
Yeah, no, I've seen it, but it didn't. To me, it felt authentic, like they weren't scrubbed yet. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I'm hoping they know what they're doing because that's a special group they got there. All those two, and then who's the other one? Trey Miguel, that was a part of the group. They were all special talents, so we'll see where they go from there. Anything else from NXT?
Trey Miguel's not with them?
Correct. This is, I don't know what their names were.
Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, and something Lee. Wesley. That's what they are now.
Wesley Snipes?
No, not Wesley Snipes.
Rumble?
Maybe in the maybe in the celebrity wing.
The Blade Runner gets to the Royal Rumble?
Or the former president and WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump makes an appearance in the Rumble.
That would be huge.
Yeah, I see what you did. Yeah. Anything else from NXT you want to talk about?
No, it's good. We're in that.
I think it's better than AEW right now.
I would agree.
And not that AEW is bad. It's just they're in a tough period, especially after the unfortunate passing of Brody Lee, which we didn't get the chance to express our thoughts and feelings on that. Such a talented man who we obviously never knew personally. We never got to meet him and interact, but from what we've heard and seen on social media, it seems like he was an excellent father and a great man in himself.
I was again, Luke Harper, not a big Luke Harper guy as I was getting into wrestling. Brody Lee was significantly more intriguing to me, but still, that's not, when he passed away, I didn't lose one of my heroes, but the outpouring on Twitter and social media and not being able to find a negative thing.
Not one.
And everyone had a personal I really appreciated and enjoyed reading different stories and hearing different comments, and every podcast other than ours was able to touch on it. And every wrestler that you heard spoke so highly of him. That's the sad part. and I really appreciate how much attention AEW has paid to the family.
-1.
And to the well-being of, WWE, I don't know, AEW got that family business, small town.
I think that was their place, though. Like WWE just giving him that, and the network specials. That have you got the chance to watch any of them?
No.
There was a New Day pod where Rowan came on, Cesaro, Breeze, and the New Day, and then they also did a highlights of his best matches. Like I feel like WWE knew their place in all this because
right,
wrestling fans know Brody Lee mainly from WWE as Luke Harper. Like he spent majority of his TV time in the WWE, so I think they were in the right the way they handled it. And like you said, the way AEW handled that show right after, I mean, there was not a better way you could have booked it.
The best part about it was it didn't feel like a pissing contest claiming stardom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't get a 10-bell salute, but he got it on AEW, right? So it's like
a lot of people gave WWE crap for that. Where's the 10-bell salute? I was like, SmackDown aired, I believe, or was it Raw that aired before AEW had the chance to? That was not their time.
And I hope that they had the discussion of, like, we should not have the 10-bell salute so AEW can pay homage to the person that is under contract with them.
Yeah. And there was stuff in that Raw that the wrestlers did, like Drew McIntyre. It's Monday. You know what that means. And Xavier Woods' whole moveset was that of John Huber, Brody Lee, Luke Harper, whatever you want to call him. But I thought both companies did an outstanding job. And AEW continues to dedicate time to -1, Brody Jr., and bring his wife Amanda ringside and his other son. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, we didn't know him personally. I got to see majority of his career because I've been a fan of WWE since 2011. I always thought personally of him in WWE as an underutilized guy, but he played his role perfectly in the Wyatt family.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they did as a cohesive unit, and you could see the outpour from Rowan, from Braun Strowman and Bray. They were brothers. Like, that was a real connection that they had, and nothing but nice things to say, of course, about him. And then when he got the chance to go to AEW, I'm glad he was able to hold a title there and be the TNT champion, because at first with the Dark Order, we always said they were missing something. Brody Lee was that something that they were missing. He gave them legitimacy, and he gave them that leader.
And in his absence, the Dark Order is as strong as it's ever been.
Are they face now?
I kind of like them. I'm
loving the Dark Order.
I don't dislike their actions. You know what I mean? You can like a heel, but and not agree with everything that they do, kind of thing. But they're not. I don't think they're huge because Brody Lee passed away.
No,
I think he came in, it raised them, and they've been able to take where they were at and continue. So,
and to hear just in the short amount of time that he was in AEW too, like he gave John Silver his entrance jacket for it was $1,000 jacket.
Yeah,
like he just gave it to him. Like Brody Lee was selfless, and he was able to put over talent in both companies, and obviously he touched a lot of people in the wrestling world. So I felt like it would be right that we got to speak on it, send our condolences obviously to Brody, and move on from there.
Yeah, you're so sad when anything like that happens to anyone in any circumstance. But he's got to be in heaven.
Brother.
He everyone poured out so positively about. They didn't have to do that.
No,
nobody had to send the tweet. But
everybody,
right?
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. He's the model of what you like.
That's a man.
He's the model of what you want people to think about you. Probably,
like
right?
when you are dead and gone and everybody's talking about you the same way they would talk about Brody Lee, because he obviously impacted a lot of people's lives. So RIP to Brody Lee, but we're going to move on here with more AEW stuff and talk about the Inner Circle. It seems like each and every week now on AEW Dynamite, they're showing little cracks here and there, whether that be with Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz, how they're mad that they're the true tag team in that Inner Circle and they're not getting the chance to go after the tag team titles. And then there's Wardlow as well, getting aggravating amongst all this. So I like how they've kind of turned every week of Dynamite into another layer of the Inner Circle.
A little soap opera, a little drama, right? I am Team Sammy Hager.
Oh, yeah, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's where you're aligning, huh?
Just because it's a funny name, and
Sammy
that's
Hager.
about it. Yeah. So.
I side with Santana and Ortiz. I think it's just because they are the tag team amongst all of this, and they've kind of been pushed aside. Like, you brought MJF in because he beat Jericho in that match, and there's Wardlow in there now, too, and there's a lot of egos in that group, and it comes off on the television screen, but I think also in a way, I don't know if you're seeing it the same way I am, Sammy Guevara, he kind of seems a little face-ish when he's on television every week.
And you look at the way he lost last night. He lost.
So you did get to see a little bit of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all. I just didn't finish the whole thing, but he's definitely in the face spot or becoming positioned as a face.
Yeah.
I agree.
If there were to be anyone in that group, I would think he is. But I don't know where they're going to go from here because obviously now we know after watching Dynamite that Jericho and MJF, who now have a merged theme song too. I don't know if you noticed that or got to catch that at all. Listen to it. It's not great. So obviously once I heard them come out to that music, I knew, okay, they're probably going to win because they're not just going to mash two theme songs together unless they're going for something. I don't know if they're going to go after the belts. Like, I feel like Jericho and MJF versus the Young Bucks is kind of weird.
No.
Because, like, the Bucks are doing their thing with the Good Brothers and Omega, and I don't know if they're going to have...
Is it too busy? Is AEW too busy?
Well, that leads right into what I was going to talk about here. We might as well, is that we now know that both companies are working together between Impact and AEW. Is this something that you think can continue?
I do. The thing for me, I feel like I might even be a little overloaded. Where you've got the AEW Impact stuff.
So yes, to answer your question, is it busy? Yes, and you're agreeing.
And I don't know. Is it? I think there's good busy and there's bad busy, and I don't
think it's bad though.
Right. I think it could get there though. It makes me. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and I could see how that stimulates many people. I would rather do one thing well than have too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't think we're there yet, but
it's nice right now. Is it something that I want to continue with? No. Because, and I don't know exactly if this is the number, but I believe there's about 81 people on the AEW roster.
Wow.
You only have 2 hours of television each week, and now you are bringing in people from other companies, big names too, like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are big. And then this probably benefits Impact more, but we saw Private Party and Matt Hardy show up to Impact this week and pick up a win there as well. So you have Kenny working with the Good Brothers, even though they're under contract with Impact. You still have the Young Bucks, who are AEW Tag Team Champions, but I really don't want to see champion versus champion match, Like, I don't want there to be a title unification or anything like that.
No.
Because then there's so much tag teams in AEW, and I feel like bringing in the Good Brothers here and there is kind of dampening that a little bit.
Right, I agree with that.
And there's no disrespect to Gallows and Anderson because they're awesome.
They're great, but there's just a lot going on in that tag division.
And it's also, we've seen no crossover too with the women's division, like which needed it. That
should be the biggest stinking crossover there is, because Impact's women's division is solid.
It's probably second to the NXT.
Mm-hmm.
If you're comparing women's division as a whole, you boost her up with Deonna Purrazzo in there and Jordan Grace, like Tyra. What's her?
Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah,
she's going though.
Is she?
She going? Yeah.
Really?
That was her last match at the pay-per-view.
Is there rumors that she's going to?
Not yet, but John Morrison. Is she with John Morrison?
Oh yeah, they're married.
Yeah.
Good. Connect the dots right there, people. I mean, NXT in itself already just got three pretty... we didn't even talk about that. Might as well backtrack a little bit and talk about NXT picking up three talents. Priscilla Kelly, Elena Black, now known as something different, but we got to see Elena Black work not only in Warrior, but in Black Label Pro as well.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting talent that they added, and I do not know the other women's name. But, yeah, they're adding more and more to that division. And just going back to the women's division itself, the only thing that seems like they're focusing on in AEW is Britt and Thunder Rosa, which they're great. I think they're probably the two most talented on AEW, but that's not the title scene, you know? Like, what's Sheeta doing now? She beat Abaddon.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's just, if you're going to have Impact, you might as well incorporate the women's division. And I get the whole Omega thing and all that, but yes, I believe this is good right now, but I don't want to see it in, like, late 2021.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. And I think maybe the pandemic has a lot to do with this as well.
Yeah.
I think if we had normal, crowd and everything and all that they would keep their separate companies, but
you gotta keep
working
them
together.
separated.
Gotta keep them separated. Isn't that a League reference? That's what that's from, isn't it?
No, Offspring.
That it is a League reference too. Have you ever seen the show The League?
Not all of it, but I have seen episodes. They were funny.
It's Andre, the bald guy.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of his lines. So we're both on this. Okay, just two different things. Last thing, Ryan Vogus even texted us in the 219 Wrestling group. Shout out to Vogus for the topic. But we got some breaking news. Sting and Darby Allin are going to be teaming up in a street fight versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks at Revolution, which we just found out is February 27. What do you think about that? Sting's going to be in what seems to be a cinematic production, I believe.
Makes sense. Worked for The Undertaker.
It did. And we know that he's got the injury issues, the age, obviously. And having Sting in AEW is valuable. Obviously, you have the name and all that, but you're limited on what you can do with him. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's just there to enhance some talent like a Darby Allin?
Yep. Get physical in very small spots along the way.
So that's a street fight cinematic thing that we have to look forward to. Other things that I would probably expect on Revolution is Moxley getting his rematch. Jen! I was going to do it loud, but I didn't want to hurt your ear.
Appreciate that.
And
my
Mikey
one good
Wilson
ear.
will let him handle that because he likes to do
and
it.
He's doing it in his car right now.
Jen!
That was
I just wanted to do it with him. We just did it together, Mikey. He's my co-host too,
Oh,
I have a lot of co-hosts.
My head is ringing.
I had to end the show with something like that,
Oh, yeah.
I got to leave the people wanting more, obviously.
Yeah.
You got anything else, though, Tuck? We went through a lot and a lot of companies. And
yeah, in conclusion, interested to see how the next shows unfold regarding the Royal Rumble.
We're 1 week away.
Yeah. We got to move.
We got SmackDown tomorrow, though. That could be
2
something.
SmackDowns, 1 Raw, 1 NXT left. Could, like you tweeted Tommaso Ciampa to the Rumble?
Did you like that fight pit match?
Yeah.
I don't think it was as good as the first one.
It was not, but I was expecting poop. Just because Timothy, I don't like Timothy.
You don't
Thatcher.
like him either.
Nah.
Okay, I'm glad we're not on the Thatcher train.
Nah, it's hard for me to get behind him.
Doesn't offer much but the technical side of wrestling.
Cool.
Thatcher's Thatch can.
There's I don't care. That's it.
All right, cool. Send us home then.
Back. We'll be back at it next week.
Royal Rumble preview and predictions.
Same time, same place. Tucky trying to get his belt back.
I don't just want to have that toy AEW belt here.
Tucky 2 belts. We're going for it.
Oh yeah. Hey, I think NXT Takeover is coming up though. So wait, let's look that up really quick on when you're going to lose.
Can't wait to keep that.
NXT Takeover. Okay, I can't find it.
I have switched I have not put it up. I've got it kind of set like you are right
Valentine's
under my TV.
Day.
Ooh, sorry, I'm busy with my wife.
You still got to have to predict.
No,
there's no getting out of that.
Yeah, the belt's locked up.
You're not pulling a Brock Lesnar on me.
Can't make the predictions there, bud.
All right. Screw you, pal.
That's it. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Wheelhouse Bait.
No, that's not this one. We'll run it back one more time.
Which can be found on the Overtime Sport Network at _OTS.
All the good stuff's at the Overtime Sports Network. Go ahead and get you some merch at otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN.
If you buy, we do have a deal going on. If you buy 1 hoodie, you can buy a second hoodie for the same price. So look into that. If you buy 1 hoodie, you can get another hoodie.
Yeah.
different size, maybe different color.
Same price as the one you bought.
If you get, same deal. They don't mix and match. It's the same with the T-shirts too. If you buy a T-shirt, you can buy a second T-shirt for the same exact price. So look into that. As always, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pod on the Mark.